Are you looking for more out of your life? Do you need ideas on how to start new businesses and how to move forward in your own personal life? Well, guess what? You have come to the right radio show. At You Can Overcome Anything podcast show, you will learn and hear from many people from all walks of life who are sharing their challenges, their stories, the habits, and the mind shifts they had to overcome to become who they are today. On top, you will get a chance to connect and see how you can overcome anything by networking and learning about your next move through this radio show. I present to you our great speakers at You Can Overcome Anything podcast show with your host, Cesar Espino. Hey, welcome back to another episode of You Can Overcome Anything podcast show. It is your host, Cesar Espino. And today I have a special guest. He's actually a dear friend of mine. He is a real estate investor, a coach, mentor, best-selling author, and a speaker, my friend Andrew Schlag. Hey, Andrew, how are you today?
Cesar, I'm awesome, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. Thank you for being here. Definitely excited to have this conversation with you. So why don't we start by telling us a little bit more about you so people can get to know you. Tell us about your upbringing and where are you originally from?
Yeah, so now we're in beautiful Carlsbad, California, in a lovely hotel lobby.
Yeah.
But I was born and raised in Southern Illinois in a little bitty town, well, actually in the country, outside of town of 400 people. And that's growing up, kind of got the entrepreneurial bug early. My dad had a pig farm. And then when we got a little older, he wound up doing construction. So I helped him with that as we was growing up, and then me, my siblings. And then fast forwarding to 21, that's when I discovered the world of real estate investing and started investing in real estate. Did my first wholesale deal, made my first $3,000.
Nice.
And have been doing that as one of my businesses ever since. And of course now I do several other businesses as well, but that's still kind of the baseline business that I operate to this day.
Yeah, so let me take you back a little bit more. Obviously, you're very successful, and I want to talk about all the different things that you have going on. You've done a remarkable things in the last couple of years. Take me back again, though, when you were growing up, right? Obviously, you said you came from kind of the entrepreneurial journey through your parent, to your dad. There's always that one thing that kids have. When I grow up, I want to be this, right? What was that for you? What was it for you that you wanted to be growing up? What was your passion at that moment?
So for me, it was about, my dad's a pastor, been a pastor for a lot of my life. And seeing that, I think him being one of my role models, I always had a passion to help people find their greater purpose. So even as a teenager, I didn't know how. I was broke. I had very little of anything, but I wanted to be able to help people find a better relationship with God, with themselves, and not knowing, of course, how to go about it or how I would make money or any of that. That was always a burning desire in me.
Got it. You said something that I think is so critical, and I learned this through my own journey when I decided to become an entrepreneur. And I think as many people, when they kind of leave their 9 to 5 or want to become an entrepreneur, they're chasing that shiny object, right? And for me, you said something that I think resonates, and I want everybody to really pay attention to. That is that for me, I did that. I left my 9 to 5. I'm also a real estate investor, so I left my 9 to 5 to become a full-time real estate investor. And what I ended up doing is, how can I chase that money? How can I get more of that? And I think very often when you do that, that can come to an end pretty fast. And so one thing that I've learned, which is kind of what you're validating right now, is that if you're doing it for profits, I believe you're doing it wrong. You got to do it for purpose, and the profits will come. And once you can see it and have that idea or that mentality, I do believe that whether it's going to take you a year, 2, 3, or 4 years, if you're going after your purpose, that one thing you want to do and change the world, the profits are going to keep coming back. And for me, it has been that.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that you said that you wanted to change the world and be able to make a difference, right? Having that said, though,
I want to interrupt you there, Cesar.
Yeah.
is I find it interesting. There's a lot of conflicting ideas around pursue the profit, then the purpose, or pursue the purpose and the profits will follow. And I like what you said, but I also believe that for me, real estate is not a passion. It's a way I do help people, but it's not the biggest way I help people. It is exactly that. Right. It's a vehicle that creates profit to fuel the purpose and the passion.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think it's very important that we all develop a skill that makes that baseline revenue, because none of us can fulfill our purpose or follow our passion without having that profit center.
Yeah, and you know what, I agree with you, and again, it comes down to what is that vehicle, and if you don't have that defined, right, and you just did, right before going into the new year, you did something about creating your vision for 2024, and I'm sure you guys talked about being able to be very clear and focused on what that might be, right?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about, you had a scare, you had a challenge in your early 20s, right? Tell me more about that, because I think that was kind of a second chance, a wake-up call for you. And tell me about that experience and what it was.
Yeah, so at 19, I encountered some health challenges. And so I turned 20 in May of 2012. And in July, I was in ICU. And the doctor didn't think I was going to make it. And so being in ICU for several days, having that hospital experience, which over $80,000 in medical debt, I didn't have insurance, racked up in a few days, which was a kick in the booty to go find a way to make money.
Yeah, of course.
But more importantly than the money, I thought my life was over. And it was interesting to me, and I'm grateful now looking back that I had that experience. While I wouldn't choose to have it, I'm grateful I had it, because it really showed me, at the age of 20, when it feels like your whole life's ahead of you, that we never know how much life we have left. For any of us, whether it's 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, it's not that long. And as we step into that realization as humans, that we're a spiritual being having a bodily experience on this earth for however long we're gifted to have that. And I think it really puts a sense within us of that importance of living that purpose. Because at 20, I had not fulfilled what I had been put on this earth for. And now laying there in the hospital bed, it's like, crap, my life might be over.
Yeah.
And then the only thing you really have is the memories, the loved ones, and your relationship with yourself and with God. Yeah. And so in that moment, I think it brought me a new perspective that has caused me to live my life. And when I say fast, I don't mean fast in a
crazy
negative way,
right.
But fast as in I sense the urgency of time. If I'm going to do this, I need to do it now. I'm not going to put crap off. If I'm going to build a business, I'm going to start it now. If I'm going to have impact on people, I'm going to start now. If I'm going to speak, I'm going to speak now. And so being able to really step into that power more quickly, and it's propelled me, here the last decade into levels of success that I'm grateful for. Not talking about just money, but I'm talking about impact and actually having the confidence to step into my purpose.
Yeah. Talking about business and in between all of that, you did something remarkable in the first couple of years of your when you were in your 20s, right? Remind me again, was it 51 properties, or how many properties did you do in 1 year?
Yeah, about 50 houses at 21 years old in 52 weeks. Or excuse me, at 22 years old in 52 weeks. Yeah.
So a lot of people might be asking, how did you do that at an early age? What was, besides, maybe really actually, what was the driving factor to be able to take action now and be able to do that and be able to think in that way? Because again, to be able to do that at that age,
yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible, except not a lot of people have that mindset. They're probably thinking about, what is the next party? Yeah. Where am I gonna go drink? Let's go out with the buddies. A lot of those different things. So did you have to give up, or did you sacrifice something? How was that to be able to step into that?
I was a preacher's kid. I wasn't allowed to drink, so I didn't have to give up the parties.
Yeah.
But in all sincerity, I say that jokingly, but the truth is, I put the pressure on myself or accepted the pressure, the responsibility that I need to build this business to take care of myself and those around me. And so we can do a lot more than we think we can in a lot less time than we think we can do it. Except most of us use probably 10% of our brains.
Yeah.
And so I found out I could buy houses without money or credit by taking over debts or making payments to the seller. And I found out about that. I went nuts. I just started banging the phones. I called Zillow. I called every for sale by owner yard sign I can find. I started putting out bandit signs, those I buy houses cash signs. I was posting on Craigslist, I want to buy out. I was going nuts. And every several dozen people I would talk to, no. Somebody would say yes.
Yeah.
And I acquired and just started buying houses like that. And that's really, and you're right, it was not a year of really living.
Yeah.
I would work 6 days a week. I would still take off and retain my sanity for one. But I would work 6 days a week from morning till night. I mean, practically, I'm exaggerating, not 24 hours a day, I slept.
Yeah.
But I was on call nonstop and just went out and bought a bunch of houses.
Yeah.
And I think it was to prove to myself and those around me who doubted me that I could do it.
For those that are watching us, like, how do you deal with rejection? Because I'm sure you got, like you said, we're getting a lot of no's.
Yeah.
And there's the fear of the unknown, the fear of, if I do this and I get rejected, right? It could be in a relationship, it could be in business, it could be really in anything, right? Even rejection in your family, right? That happens a lot. And so, again, the fact that you were able to go through that even after being rejected, like, how do you deal with that for people? What would be your advice that people want to step into that and they're fearful of that rejection?
I think it's interesting, Caesar, because I see people, all of you listening to this, you're really good at something. And as you're good at that thing, you realize that you screwed up at it a lot of times before you got good at it. Mm-hmm. If you're good at going on dates, you got rejected a lot of times and got over it. If you're good at buying houses, you got rejected a lot of times and got over it. Like, if you're good at coding software, you didn't just wake up one day and hop on the computer. Like, you became. And so if we can transfer that confidence, because I've had people, it was funny, I wasn't that great, with going on dates and with women. And so it's interesting, I get around my friends, some of them are great with asking a girl out on a date, but they was terrified of a seller on the phone. It was the same fear, except it was flipped. And so decide what you're good at and then take that same confidence in that thing and use it in this thing.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just developed the habit of not caring because I knew more no's meant I was on my way to a yes.
Yeah.
And so for that thing, I became very confident getting on the phone with sellers, asking the question, and knowing that every no was one closer to a yes.
Yeah.
And that a yes meant a 5-figure payday. So I can handle a lot of no's.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody can do that, right? I mean, anybody would want to get that. So talk about habits, and you're mentioning habits, and you develop that habit. Two things. Number one, what habits do you have now? Number two, it seems to me that you've done a lot of work with your internal self, your mind, your body, your spirit, right? Tell me about those things, because I feel that those are so critical, yet they tend to be overlooked. Those are things that, in my opinion, comes to you for free when you're born, yet because it's free, we don't really take advantage of those things that are available to us.
Yeah.
So tell me about your habits and then the body, the mind, the spirit, what you've done, what kind of work?
So my real deep passion is to help people have the best relationships with themselves, with God, and with money.
Okay.
And I say that because my experience has been that the three so all-inclusively affect one another.
Okay.
And anytime I've gotten off balance with one, others have suffered, the other ones. And so as I look at that balance, and when I say those three things, if somebody might be listening and maybe has a different view, but I'll explain what I mean by that. A good relationship with money means I understand that money is a tool, money is energy, and it's something that I can create at will. If I understand that, I can literally acquire an asset with no money and make it pay me. I can literally offer a service to the market, whether it takes me 1 hour or 100 hours. If that service is worth $100 or $100,000, it can pay me. And so once I understand how money flows, my relationship with money improves. How do I grow it? Number 2, my relationship with myself. Many people are walking around with tremendous insecurities, hurts, pain, struggles, and low self-confidence. For me, the confidence I have comes from the fact I know I'm a king's kid, created in God's image. And once someone can really step into that power, and know regardless of accomplishments or regardless of whatever, you are a king's kid. You were created for purpose and created for greatness, whatever that is. You'll never do what I do. I'll never do what you do. We wasn't created for the same thing, although our paths align in a lot of ways.
No.
And so as we really step into that power and that purpose, I think that is a very eye-opening experience, or it was for me. So that's where my habits are formed from. So every morning I get up quite early usually, depending on where I travel all the time, as I know you do.
Yep.
But typically somewhere between 4:30 and 6:30, depending on where I'm at and traveling to. I try to keep it around 5:30. But between 4:30 and 6:30 every morning I get up, go through spells, again, depending on where I'm at, what events I'm speaking at, what my schedule holds. And then no matter when I get up, I read, I immediately chug a bottle of water, first thing.
Yep.
I read every morning, I pray, I talk to God, I meditate, I typically journal, and I start my day off controlling my mind. I found if I used to every morning, I would get up stressed, I would grab my phone first thing, I would scroll through, I'd see what texts I missed, what fires I had to put out, and I would see what phone calls I missed, and crap, oh crap, oh crap. My whole day was oh crap. Until I realized if I wake up early, 5 a.m. usually, I get up, number one, I don't check my phone first thing. I check something way better, a book or the Bible or whatever it may be. I'll say a prayer. Now I am controlling my morning. I've told my body I am gonna get up, I'm disciplined, chug a bottle of water. I've told my mind you're going to focus on this thing, on this book you're reading. I've told my mind to calm itself. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to talk to God. I'm going to show gratitude. Every morning I wake up, first words out of my mouth is thank you, God. And so now by the time I get to the oh crap moments, I'm already controlling my day. So rarely can my phone ringing bend me out of shape now.
Yeah.
And so as I step into that morning routine and really develop those habits, that consistency, and so, you know, I lost 45 pounds last year.
Yeah.
And well, not last year.
No,
it's a year before now.
Year before, yeah.
And so it was interesting because for me, it wasn't, you know, I went to the gym and I'd done some setups and I tried a few things and I was getting no results. And one of my great friends, who's also my business partner, you know, Leo, said to me, he said, Andrew, this is not a diet. This is not a weight loss program. This is a lifestyle change, developing a healthy lifestyle. And it clicked. I no longer am going, oh crap, if I can just skip enough calories today, I can get dessert on Friday night. Oh, if I can just hit the gym hard enough today, I'll be skinny tomorrow. I realized that it's a journey, it's a path, it's progress. Every day I'm eating healthier. So now it's no longer about doing this so I can get to that. It's I feel great.
Yeah.
And truthfully, every couple of months I'll grab dessert and it don't taste near as good as I remember it.
Yeah.
And so it's about those habit changes and that consistent change. And over time, for me, weight dropped. For me, I began to look more like I wanted to look, but more importantly, even feel better. And so as each of us develop habits, if it's to make more money, how do I make more sales calls? What's the habits I can develop that get me to the objective I want to accomplish?
Yeah, I love that. And you definitely dropped many golden nuggets there. And one thing that you mentioned, and you said, we're all here for a different purpose. And the one thing that I want to keep reminding people is that the fact that you're listening to this, looking at both of us having this conversation, is because God, the universe, whatever you believe in, is not done with you. And there's still a greater purpose for you to accomplish. And you just got to be able to find that purpose and be able to say, you know what, I'm here for a reason, because quite frankly, there was quite a few people that probably didn't make it to today. We're here today and we're gone tomorrow. So once you can figure that out, and again, you can create that discipline and those habits, then I do believe that there's a bigger purpose and idea as you go in this journey called life, right? The things that you did in your 20s and the real estate, and you figured this stuff out. Now you're devoting yourself in really, as you mentioned, teaching people, and you're looking to impact 10,000 people in the next year or so, or before that. And so let's talk about the things you're doing right now, because not only are you doing real estate, you're speaking, you're not only empowering people through your voice, you're doing multiple different things. So let's talk about the goal of being able to impact 10,000 people, and tell me more about the things you have going on right now.
Yeah, so this is what excites me, Caesar. I have been so blessed in order to really do what I love. I've been up with money, down with money. It comes and goes, except this is what matters. The relationships that I've built over the years. Because money comes and goes, but relationships and friendships can be a lifetime. And so this year, in celebrating my 10th year in real estate investing, my objective and commitment to myself has been, how do I directly impact 10,000 people's relationship with money, with themselves, and with God? How do I directly help 10,000 people, since I happen to have a specialty in real estate investing, start or launch their businesses in a way that brings them a better financial position by the end of 2024? And so that's really what I'm devoting my time to right now. I love sharing, speaking at various places as I get the opportunities, and leading the communities. My friend Leo and I launched a business called Truca, and it's just focused on helping people, a community of people, especially young entrepreneurs, but young entrepreneurs of all ages, find their real path. A lot of them are real estate, and a lot of them are not, but find their real path and purpose and be able to live more fully. So we look at the 7 categories of life: the health and fitness, your relationship with self, your money, business, finances. We look at all of these different categories and go, how are we faring in all of them? One of the things I love to do, as I mentioned, is travel. And so my life is balanced by all the categories of life. Because if you're fit and broke, it sucks.
Right, yeah.
But if you're rich and in the hospital, that sucks. If you wish you were traveling, but you're stuck working, but you're making good money, that sucks. So how do we live that life that gives us the ability to live abundantly in all areas? And that's really what we focus on, and just really helping people find their superpowers, step into them, and live their freedom life. Some people had an extra $1,000 or $3,000 a month. Some people, we have making some 6-figure months. So it's everyone is different, but what is freedom to you, and how do we get there?
Yeah, no, I love that. Talk about the idea of impacting 10,000 people. You actually have an event coming up in February.
Yeah.
Tell us about that event, because probably people that are listening to us and watching might want to get into real estate investing or learning more about, how can I step into that? Because as you said, it is a vehicle that can help you do other things, whether it's travel, whether it's helping your parents, whether it's, opening up a different type of business. It's something that people can step into, and you do something different than I don't believe many people do, which is that creative financing, and be able to do deals with really no money down, or the techniques that you teach are amazing. So tell us about that event.
Yeah, and first off, just because I was probably half or 3/4 nuts and bought 50 houses in a year, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to have the life I had in 2015, okay? I want you to have an enjoyable life. So if that means 5 houses cash flowing you in the next 12 months, then great. I'm not telling you can't buy 50. If you want, by all means, go for it. I'm just telling you that in reality, the tools that I used for that and have perfected are a way that you can build wealth, whether that's buying a house a year, 5 houses a year, 10, your choice. But yeah, in February 21, 2, and 3, coming up, we're going to be doing a virtual online event. And just for 3 days, we cover how to buy houses, how to find them, how to close on them, how to find the right real estate attorneys, how to make sure that you're protected, how to cash flow them, the best exit strategy, short-term rental, mid-term rental, lease options, rentals, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So for 3 days, we just delve in deep about how I'm finding these properties and turning them to cash flow. Because ultimately, that's, I'm not a banker. I don't need to be a banker. I don't need to have a degree. I don't have a college degree. I am a matchmaker. I'm finding houses, I'm buying them with the benefit of low or no interest, and then I'm turning around and turning those into a cash flowing asset for the company. So the seller wins because they get maybe more money over time or debt relief. The buyer wins because ultimately I'm going to help my tenant get qualified and get a mortgage whenever that's what they want to do. And so it's a great process, a great way to turn tremendous cash flow and really create wealth from nothing. And so that's what got me started, what I continue doing some of till this day.
Yeah.
Of course, now I've got an amazing software developer on our team, and he has created the chatbots, the AI, the CRM all integrated where, frankly, the houses are getting took up to the point of purchase without human interaction.
Wow.
And we send the contract, close the deal. Of course, that takes a human still.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have a robot
an
doing
AI
that soon.
doing, yeah.
And then the robot goes ahead and finds the tenant who is eventually going to buy the house, finds the tenant, texts them, pre-screens them, finds out about their income, schedules them to see the house, sends them the lockbox code, checks up with them after they've seen the house, and if they are qualified and they're interested in and ready to move forward, then we call them and accept them into do the application and accept them. So it's a very much as close to hands-off approach as I've ever seen it. It's crazy how it's developed in just, I would say the last decade, but truthfully the last 6 months.
Yeah.
We've been working on this software for almost a year and a half, and it's been incredible what our guys have been able to come up with.
Yeah, no, that's huge. Is that for new people or people that are already in the business? It could be for both?
It's absolutely for both.
Okay.
Again, the whole objective of the 3 days when you spend with me virtually is to learn and understand how to build your cash flowing portfolio to reach your freedom number, whatever that is. If that's another 1,000 a month, another 5,000 a month, another 10,000 a month, I want to get you there. And then ultimately, whatever tools you need to get you there, if you were to do it manually like I did when I started, you can absolutely do that, and it's free. You got a phone, you got it. If you want to hire the robots for a few $100 a month, whatever it costs to set all that up, I have no idea what they do over there, but they do their thing. Then absolutely, it's a tool at your fingertips.
Yeah, no, I love that. So Andrew, if people wanted to connect with you, learn more about you, follow you, because I know you have a tons of free training, and that's one thing that I really like about you and appreciate about you is that you are willing to teach and help and give a lot of information for free. So if people want to learn about you, where can they find you? How can they connect with you? Or even learn about this event that you have coming up?
Yeah, Andrew Schlag on YouTube is a lot of good free training. So just my first name, Andrew, last name, Schlag. And then I'm also on Facebook. I put a ton of stuff out on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me pretty much anywhere. Andrew Schlag.
Awesome. And the last question I have for you, Andrew, is for the people that are watching us right now, if they're going through any challenge, whatever challenge that might be, what is one thing or a couple of things you can say to them so they can start overcoming that challenge?
Ooh, that's good. Number one, find some good books and read them. So self-development, self-growth. Number two, find a couple of great people. So many people are surrounded by negativity, drama, people who drag them down, and we believe it's normal. And so if you can find a way to develop yourself, reading good books, putting good stuff in, and then find a couple of people at least who are positive, uplifting, and encouraging to you, your life will transform very quickly.
I love that. And you know what? I started reading a lot, and it is definitely a game changer. And the last thing I will add to that, when you talk about the right people, I think it was Jim Rohn that talks about you got to surround yourself with the average five, right?
Yeah.
And for me, when I think about the average five, I kind of put them into three different categories. Number one is that mentor, someone that can help you, that is willing to help you out, and you do a lot of that. You're here, you have mentors yourself, and you also are mentoring people. You generally want to help somebody out. The second group of people is people that might be at the same playing field as you, except you're not competing with them. You're edifying each other and you're helping each other out, right? Oftentimes you find a lot of competition. Find a group that actually are willing to help you out and grow together. And then the last one, which I think you're doing also right now, is being able to be that person where you can now reach down and bring those people that want to be in your level and bringing them up to your level and helping them out. So it's that idea of service, right? And so for me, when I look at the average five or find the right group of people, I want to surround myself within those three different groups of people. So
That's good.
Awesome. Andrew, it was such a pleasure having you here. Any last minute golden nuggets that you want to have for the people that are watching us?
I just say thanks for having me, man. And if you've not read it, Norman Vincent Peale, have you read The Power of Positive Thinking?
Yes.
I love that book. So if anybody hasn't read it, you'll enjoy that. It's a great way. I just am excited, beyond excited. I know we had dinner a moment ago.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for you and what's going to transpire in the year ahead. And I'm just grateful to be on the podcast with you, man. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And for the rest of you guys, do me a favor. Please make sure that you share this podcast because somebody needs to hear this message. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of You Can Overcome Anything Podcast Show.
Hi, I'm Cesar Espino, real estate investor, business coach, and consultant, and author of the book, You Can Overcome Anything, Even When the World Says No. My number is 424-501-6046. In my book, I talk about making the necessary changes to shift your mind for prosperity and certainty. Pick up your copy at Amazon. I also love helping families with their real estate and can purchase your house fast and all cash. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. My number is 424-501-6046.
Thank you for having me today. I am so glad you've tuned into this podcast. You can find me at your favorite podcast platform where you can like, subscribe, comment, and share. And to learn more about myself, my services, you can find me at www.cesarrespino.com, or you can also find me at your social media. Thanks for joining me, and I am looking forward to having you at the next episode. And know you truly can overcome anything.